this golf course make a bit of a nuisance themselves by digging up the greens and leaving little deposits for the golfers, which doesn't go down too well. So we're going to have a little look round and see if we can come to terms with one or two of them. Using thermal equipment that we've got tonight certainly gives us a big advantage, allowing us to see exactly what's going on around us without being seen ourselves. Not the only ones hunting this evening. A cheeky little mouse squeak brings this owl in for a closer look. It's not long before Gary spots something out on the driving range. We quickly get down on the bipod and line up for a shot. This fox is about 100 yards away. I quickly pick this fox up in the scope, but he's heading for the fence, and if I'm not quick, he'll disappear behind it and I won't get a shot. This fox is a good sized dog fox. As you can see, bullet placement was spot on. Using the flex tone FLX 50 cooler, we soon pull a fox in from the woods on our left. The cooler's still running, another fox comes in from the right. And this fox also meets with the same fate. Foxes seem to be everywhere this evening. It doesn't take long before we bump into another one. This fox wins us and is off, but in true fox style, he can't resist one last look back. A mouse squeak from Gary draws in yet another fox, but this one seems distracted by something behind him, and he seems drawn as to which way he wants to go. Eventually, a 143 grain bullet ends his dilemma. 6 boxes in the bag, the FLX cooler and the thermal equipment certainly prove their worth.
Both the XQ50 and the XQ38F use the same convenient, rechargeable and interchangeable battery pack. Both units also incorporate a single touch one button recording system, all built into the unit. The XQ38F also incorporates a basic rangefinder, various different colour palettes and also a range of magnification to make it easier to spot your target at distance. Both units incorporate a very similar control button setup. The first button's a recording button, so it's nice and easy to find. It's always at the back nearest the eyepiece, so it's easy to find in the dark when you quickly get a fox coming in or whatever it is you're hunting, and you can simply hit that button to start and stop your recording. You've got an up and down buttons which increase your magnification or are used to control menu functions up and down through the menu, and then you select the middle menu button to select that option. The other button on here is just the power button on and off. Same as with the XQ50, it also incorporates just a single button to turn the unit on and off. Focusing both these units is very simple, using an ocular ring on the front here to adjust your focus. Same as with the XQ50, it has a separate little focus dial on the front here as well. Both units come with a protective front lens cap to protect the lenses from rain and other debris. Being that the Trail XQ50 mounts onto a Picatinny rail using just these two simple nuts and a fixed mounting system, this unit can be removed from the rifle, swapped with a day scope and then put back on with no loss of zero. Using the charging cable supplied, it's very easy to record footage recorded on your device straight onto your PC. Or simply plug in the lead in to the side of the unit and then into your laptop. You simply turn the unit on and select the USB function for the lead. Files are then transferred directly to your PC so you can review your footage. Using the Stream Vision app, it's possible to connect your Pulsar device directly to your smartphone or tablet. This way other people can view exactly what you're seeing through your scope or spotter.
So if you've never used thermal equipment for foxing or deer stalking or whatever it is that you do, I can assure you it's a total game changer. It's transformed my foxing tenfold. The ability to scan field and just pick out a fox that's coming into that field just like that is it's worth its weight in gold. And also to deer managers and the such like, being able to look around a wood, you'll pick out deer in that wood far quicker than what you will with the best pair of binoculars on the market. A thermal will just do it just like that and you'll be on them. So for spotting purposes, a thermal is second to none and worth its weight in gold. As far as thermal scopes go, I was always a bit dubious about this, with mainly quarry identification, but having used the Trail XQ50, that is no longer a concern for me. I know that within sensible shooting distances it's possible to ID your quarry 100%, so out to, probably in the right conditions, out to about 200 yards, maybe further, you should be able to pick out the tail of a fox ears, and you will know that that is a fox. If you're familiar with the way your quarry moves and obviously the way it looks, then you'll be able to ID that 100%. So that was the first concern I had. As far as using a thermal scope, then there's several advantages to that over a standard night vision scope. The first one, and probably the most significant one, is with a night vision scope you get glare back from the IR, or even if you're just using a lamp, you'll get glare back from the IR or the lamp on long grass, leaves, things like that, and it make it impossible to see your target beyond that. However, with a thermal scope you don't get that problem. There's no IR, there's no light source, nothing to give you away. So you're completely covert as well using a thermal scope. The fox or whatever it is you're shooting, there's no idea you're there. So yes, they are more expensive than a night vision setup, but if you take into account a good night vision setup and you weigh up the advantages that you have with a thermal scope over a night vision scope, then for me they are worth the price tag without a doubt. So I shall be very sad to have to give this one back. Okay, this rabbit's at 460 metres, dialed in 9 MOA for elevation and 1 for wind. Okay, this rabbit's at 695 or 96 metres, dialed in 18.5 MOA for elevation and 2.25 for windage. Okay, that rabbit was 856 metres. Okay, so the farmer's asked me to come down to the farm today and see if I can clear up some of these crows that he's got hanging around. It's a dairy farm down here, so there's always a good number of crows around anyway. But this maize stubble here's, well, it was cut a few weeks back, but there's a lot of crows coming in, landing on that. So as always, time's of the essence a little bit today, so I'm going to set up a hasty hide and see if I can't pick a few off and just make a bit of a dent in the numbers. You can see this is what the birds have been feeding on, all the old corn and the husks like that. There's a few bits, the odd bits just kicking around in the dirt and that I haven't found, but there's very little left on the field now. It really is last pickings for them. Crows seem to be favouring this bottom edge of the field. They're also on the grass behind, probably because the cattle have been on there, and there's plenty of cowpats and stuff that they like to pick through for grubs and things. There's a few of them coming over the top of these trees and land on the stubble and that out here. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my hide up just in the corner here, where the fences meet there and that pheasant is. There's a few of them around at the minute as well. I might bump 1 or 2 of those on the way down. But anyway, I'm going to set up there and see what happens. Okay, as with all best made plans, I'm having to change them. The farmer's just come up to me over there on his quad bike to say that they're muck spreading in the field next to where I was going to be seated, so
don't really want to be there. Not only that, they'll be running the tractor to and fro the gateway where I was going to set up hide. So I made the hide, had to quickly take it all down. I'm going to move it down to the other end of the field now, which is where I am at the moment. And it could actually work in my favour, because the crows do also tend to come up and down along this tree line here. And just here, I've got a very nice natural sort of looking hide where there's already a few maize stalks that are still left standing, which will act as a bit of a blind. So I can set up a net behind that. With the tree trunk there is going to hide me as well from anything coming in this way. So hopefully that'll be quite a good hide anyway. So we'll set up and have another go. I'm going to put out a few of the pigeon decoys as well. There's a few pigeons flying across here that are coming in. I'm using the FUD fold up decoys. I've had these quite a while, but I find they're actually really good for pigeons, so I'm just going to put half a dozen of them out just around this area, and then put some crows out over the other side there a bit more, and just see if I can get the odd pigeon come over, or ideally I want to knock down most of the crows today. So see how it goes. Again, one of the best places for decoys, on top of the fence post. Good old camo tape. Back out. Facing into the wind, away you go. Okay, so the other thing I'm going to be using is a little camera that mounts on the end of the barrel. Hopefully get a little bit of action footage through that. I'll get the thing to work. I've already got crows coming in. Come on, you bugger. Okay, finally managed to get the thing to work. It was a cheap Chinese crap thing, but that's only 40 quid off eBay, so there we go. We've got a couple of takers coming in straight away. That's one down.
Okay, so I've had a good afternoon. I had 27 crows and a collared dove. So it's good to get rid of that lot. There's a mixture of crows, jackdaws and rooks there. All a bit of a pest here, and there's a good number of all of them here. They're still coming in now. So yeah, not too bad. I think that was 45 cartridges, so not too bad considering probably 3 or 4 of those were dispatching shots for birds that I brought down that need another shot. So all in all, good afternoon.